What's up, everybody? It's your girl Besa, and it is time for another episode of the Rewind with Besa. Right now, I got one of my buddies, Karlos Dillard, over here. What's happening, boo?
What's good, Besa? How are you, love?
I'm good. First and foremost, I have not seen you since my media mixer. I've seen you on Instagram, but I haven't seen you in
It's been
person
like
since my
over
mixer.
a year. I went to one of your
Yeah,
mixers, I think, last November. It was like
yeah.
one of you, and yeah, that was one of because I'm new to Seattle, so I saw this thing on Instagram, and it was like mixer for YouTubers, influencers, like get to know everyone. And there are a couple people who I knew like through the industry who were going and who had gone to the other ones. So I was like, let me go, and then I met you, and you were such a sweetheart, and
And so
it
are
was.
you. I remember telling you, what's so crazy is when I saw you there, I had actually seen you on Instagram first.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
I don't know if I was going through Black Seattle hashtag, or I was going through some hashtag to find more Black people in Seattle in general. And I ended up coming across your page. I was like, he's cool. I'm going to know him. And
No, I miss it. We definitely need to get those rolling after COVID gets over because I miss those so much.
period. Speaking of that, I know you usually do comedy. So how have you been doing? How have you been adjusting to COVID?
Oh, COVID hit the entertainment industry like hard. As everybody knows, I do acting, comedy, commercial acting, and comedy was just like 100% just like shut down. Like there's some people. I did a couple online shows, and honestly, I got paid for them, but my heart wasn't in it because like
Mm,
I am an energy person. Like I love energies and crowds, and it's
period.
fun. It's like fun reciting your jokes on to a camera, but when there isn't any interaction, it's just so it lost it. Like I was just like I don't like it. So as far as comedy, I know a lot of comedians have gone to like Iowa or Idaho or even some people went down to Florida where they've opened up completely just to keep their
Mhm.
career going. But fortunately for me, that was just like one of my, I'm multifaceted. So that's just one of my things that I do. So I started focusing more on my book and uh, my foster care give backs and stuff like that. But yeah, the entertainment industry is like dead. It's dead. And now that they're starting to slowly open up, it's even more competitive because it's like who
Mhm.
actually took the last 7 to 8 months to get like to stay in shape, get their things together. One thing was like hairstyling, like who can do, like taught myself how to cut my own hair because barbers were out, but we were still getting. I was still getting auditions, so I was like, I have auditions that I have to do,
Period.
and I ain't got no, and I don't have my hair's not cut. What am I gonna
Can't be
do?
coming in there looking crazy. It's like I know it's COVID, but I need you to still not look like COVID. Like fix
Right.
it.
So I like people have definitely my friends in the industry have definitely done everything they like we're artists. We survive. So that's what artists do. But it's definitely been tough. It's definitely been tough.
Now I do want to say this before we get into the recent events. You are really big on TikTok right about now.
I you know what?
Yeah.
I've only been on TikTok for like 4 to 5 months. I literally just went on and I didn't understand it at first, but before because of COVID, you saw me like getting my edits together,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then now all these little kids just be like, oh my god, I love you.
There was that one that you did where it was the beat where it's like dum, 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 dum. And then it was like passing the blunt. You were like, COVID. I was like, he might be on to something here. And then all of a sudden you're like TikTok just it freaking blew up. Would you say it's your consistency? I mean, obviously it's your personality, but
My very first viral video was Priest, Rabbi, Atheist with cut.com that I smoked weed with a priest and a rabbi. And ever since, that's a good episode. But ever since then, things just go viral for me. I can't tell you if yeah, I'm consistent. I post damn near every day on my stories, like you finna get entertained. Sometimes it's like me cussing somebody else. Sometimes it's me being inspiring. Sometimes
it'd be
I'm
all the
meditating.
tea.
Like but
The
sometimes it's definitely
symbols.
yep, my crystal bowl. Sometimes it's consistency, but sometimes it's just putting your name out there. I think that I have a
Mhm.
recognizable name. I branded my name really well. And when people see or hear Carlos Zero, they're like, "What the hell happened now?" Like
Mhm.
that's literally what they're like. And it's a negative and a positive with it. It comes with both. So
So let's talk about recent events. Um, I was minding my own business on Instagram, perusing per usual. And which is really not minding my own business, but whatever. And I ended up seeing that you were on an Alaska flight. And within that flight, apparently there was some guy that had on a mask. No shade to the guy. The mask looked a little bit worn out, so he shouldn't have been wearing that type of mask anyway.
No, let me
But
stop you there. He didn't have a mask on at all. Like he didn't have a mask on. That video that I posted was after they had told him to put the mask on. And
okay, so let's back up then. What happened on the plane that made it to where you had to have a call with like the CEO and VP earlier today?
So me and my husband we are at a funeral due to COVID in Florida. Went down to see his aunt, and then we were just like, since we're here, we're here right before the elections, we may not get a chance again to see like our family and friends. So let's just go down. We were down there for like 5 or 6 days. Traveling by the 6th day, you just want to get home. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just want to get home. And I really have a tendency I want to mind my own business so much. I really do. But
That's the
I,
intention.
the intention is just mind the business that pays you. But when it literally pays me to not mind my business, like my health, I have to say something. So I saw this family come on and they didn't have masks on. And I just looked bewildered. I was just like, okay. But I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I was like, maybe because they had a lot of bags with them in car seats. And I was like, maybe there just wasn't enough time to like. But
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, I was like, wait, hold on, hold on. We are in the middle of a pandemic. And then the thing that made me really upset is guys like, as he's putting in the car seat, and I'm like right in my face, like right in front of my salad, right in front of my salad, right in front of my salad, and you know me, I'm in Florida. I know as a black gay man in Florida, it's not my place to say something to this white man. It's just not.
Mhm.
I just like you just know where you are and where
Like this is
no,
not Seattle anymore. Like
no,
like
So I did the correct thing. I just hit my little button. I was like, can you have them put on their mask? Mind you, they had been on the plane. The flight attendant who had helped them get on the plane was like, oh my God, your outfits are so cute. Can I take a photo of you guys? And then took a photo of them and then walked away. And then when I rang for her, she came back. I was like, ma'am, can you ask them to put their mask on? She's like, who doesn't have a mask on? I was like, the people you just took a photo of. So long story short, the guy got up agitated that we were even in his business, quote unquote, and turned around to my husband and I and were like, COVID's fake. You guys are sheep. I just got off. I just left a funeral from COVID. Like COVID's not fake, sir. Like it's very real. We had 240,000 people dead as of now in our country,
period.
and he was just like, and I was like, sir, you're coughing, you're sweating, your eyes are bloodshot. He was like, my eyes are bloodshot because of oxygen deprivation. I was like, I run 6.3 miles every day with a mask on. It ain't
Okay.
oxygen deprivation. So, long story short, the flight attendant ended up, well, I didn't know it then, but I turned out learning through the investigation that he lied and said that me and Christopher were getting rambunctious and we were getting, he used the word rambunctious. You know, those words they give the black people.
The
Ram,
words that they use to make it seem worse than it really is, and then that way it's like, well, were they black?
mm-hmm. So yeah, so he made it the whole lie, and then long story short, we had one conversation with VP of Internal Affairs last Friday, and then they set up the conversation today where they did the whole internal investigation, and they were just like, "I'm sorry, we did you wrong." That's literally like. If you watch my Instagram today, I posted all of our parts of our conversations, and they were just like, we did you wrong. And every point of this, we did you wrong. And they've offered some resolution, but my husband and I like it's not enough. So we're gonna go back and forth. But at the end of the day, it's just like you said, had I not, I had to pay. I bought those two original tickets that were on a buddy pass, but they were still $188. And
You
then
should
I
have paid
bought
something.
yeah, and then I paid two additional tickets, which were $400 each, which they just did not allow because Ingrid. It turns out Ingrid had some type of. She was the gate attendant. She had some type of vendetta against us that she even said herself.
For sure.
And
Oh wow.
and then what? This is one thing that I had to like remind Alaska. I'm not just an average customer. I have people on the internet who love me for what I do,
Hmm.
how I stand up, and I similarly have people who literally want to kill me and have sent death threats and
I've
Proud
seen
Boys to my house.
screenshots.
So it's like, how do I know that Ingrid just didn't like me because of what I do? Like, there's when you walk around this
She
world
could
as
know who you are.
they did know who I was, but she didn't know how far this hair reached.
She tried it with the right one that time.
She tried it because, like you said, like I even told Alaska this morning, this morning, I said, I'm glad that you guys did the internal investigation. I'm glad that you found out everything that I said was true. And I'm glad that I have your attention. I'm getting my money back and this, that, and the other. But I spent almost $1,200 on same day tickets. If I was just Joe Schmo, I would just been out of $1,200 and just feeling just completely humiliated, completely discriminated against, and just embarrassed and just angry with no response. And they're like, oh, well, we respond to every call and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm sure you would have in months and weeks. But when I had my followers tapping that ass, like I was like,
because at this point, it's like, everyone's chilling. No one's hitting up Alaska for anything. And all of a sudden, their Twitter, Instagram, and etc. is blowing up. They're like, what is happening?
No,
what has happened?
I was on a Delta flight, and this is how serious it is. And like people ask how to make things go viral. When you want something to go viral, you stay constant. You have your connections. Like, so I have a couple Instagram friends who we each have large platforms, and we just, when we need help, we're just like, hey, shoot this out for me. Hey, shoot. So when you can get about 300,000 people's attention at one moment, and then on top of it, just have just indisputable proof of just ridiculousness. That's how you get their attention. You only got to say, and this whole time I haven't cussed them out. I ain't say nothing against them. I've just been putting out the evidence. It's like, hey, what do y'all think? what do y'all
like,
think?
This is what happened. Am I tripping?
Am I tripping?
Like, am I tripping?
But yeah, they had a conversation today, and as of now, we're kind of just trying to figure out what's going to be the best resolution for our family and for them, and hopefully we don't have to get attorneys involved too much. But at the end of the day, I told my husband, I was like, as Black people, we need to stop feeling sad or bad for demanding equity and equality. And that's something that I even go through, because it's like I'm not poor by any means, but I'm also not rich. And I also have seen white people sue a lot of people for a lot less. So as Black people, I think we need to start demanding justice, not just an apology. Because yeah, sure, you can apologize and fix your policies, but on that comes on my trauma. Like you learned on my trauma.
Yeah.
So pay me, sis. Like, pay me.
Because it's like the sorry is like, okay, you're sorry, but it's kind of like we were saying. This could easily happen to Joe Schmo with no Instagram and then be one of those like uncles that has a Facebook with no freaking Facebook photo on it. And it could happen tomorrow. And guess what? We would probably never hear about it, because if, say, he didn't have a camera phone like you do, say, or maybe he would have been actually belligerent, if you want to go there, because I remember you said something about how they were like, you were so well spoken the whole time. And it's like, well, if I wasn't, we would have had a whole different problem now, wouldn't we?
So that's kind of one thing that I was telling Tim today too. She was just like, you're so articulate, and like we just appreciate how you were able to describe your emotions to us, how you felt. And as she was like, as a pretty much as a white woman, she's like, as a white woman, that's gonna stick with me. She said it's gonna stick with me probably for the rest of my life. And I was like, that's cool, great. But do you know how much just like resistance I have to have as a human being? That's not to grab you. And just not to grab you. And then on top of that, I know I can't say anything above this level of speaking.
Period.
I have to keep because I talk with my hands. I got to keep my hands down and speak. And I was like, if I were to be myself, I would have been shot in the back by TSA. No problem. Like, no questions asked.
Tackled down. Somebody would have helped.
The dad would have helped from the white family.
Somebody would have helped. And
I let people know this all the time. Like, but you know what? Even with that, and we're going to talk on. I think we're going to hit on this later. Even with all the information, there were still people being like, "Look at you again, always playing the victim, always have to have a problem." Oh, I was like, how?
And that. Let's go into that, because obviously we know. Well, some people might know you from the Karen "Are You Okay" video. I remember once again.
Shut up.
Karen. I don't know if you guys remember, at least I know I was scrolling through Instagram and I literally saw you on the Shade Room. I was like, what? And then I got a DM from somebody else, and they were like, "Did you see this?" I was like, "That's my friend Carlos. What the heck is going? Let me just DM Carlos." And within that moment, it basically ended up being a video of a woman that called you the N word and then drove off, and you were able to catch the video of her having a literal Karen meltdown that no one had ever seen before. And obviously, this went viral. So, one, I want to know if there's anything still happening with that. But two, do you feel like there's ever a point where you share too much? Because
Mhm.
some people feel like, oh, well, he's just sharing every single thing that happens. But in your defense, what I've heard you say, and at least this is the way that I see it, you're just sharing your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Like you can't help that this is happening to you.
So let me answer the second question first. So do I think I share too much? That's literally how I pay these bills. So like a lot of y'all don't understand social media. I have contracts with companies. I have sponsors. A lot of my platforms are monetized. So before any of this, if you actually seen my work for the last 5 years, I've been tackling these issues. They just haven't ever gone as viral. So I've always
Mhm.
tackled police brutality. I've always tackled black gun ownership. I've always tackled kind of like the underdog of topics. And my platform has grown really slowly over the last 5 years. Within the last 18 to 12 months, I've seen an explosion on all of my platforms because the things that I've been talking about for 5 years are now what's most prevalent on everyone's mind and everyone's platform. It's gun violence, police brutality, gay
Mhm.
rights. Like these were things 5 years ago, right when before Barack Obama like was leaving the White House and Trump was coming in. These were things that were like, I mean, I'll say it. Trump ignited it. Like so Trump ignited all of this. So people are now looking at um, gun issues, gun videos. I have one video that has like I think 3 million views on YouTube where this white lady, I was open carrying my gun. I believe in gun rights. I believe in the Second Amendment right. And she just said there was a black man with a gun. That's all she said. The police came down, uh, put me on the ground, took my firearm. After I actually showed them like video of me just minding my own business, because once again, I was there on Instagram minding my own business.
And you have
But
the right to carry it. So the only difference is
oh,
that
like sorry, we just got this call. Sorry, we just have to look up things like that. But when people say like, do you share too much? I actually don't share every microaggression or every macroaggression. I really don't. As a gay black man, like, as a black woman, you probably know like they close them doors, the comments, the side eyes, like everything that happens to me as a gay black man, I don't share. What I do share is things that I'm just like, this needs your attention. And on top of that, I'm on Instagram every day. I'm on social media every day. My phone's in my hand. It's literally glued to my hand. So when people say like, "Oh my God, he just shares everything," that's literally what I do. And I can't tell you how many people I've helped. I cannot tell you how many people who have seen something I've gone through or something similar, or just when I'm just talking about my everyday life, come out and be like, "You've helped me come out to my parents," or "You helped me demand a better position in my job and demand equality." Or just what like or even white women to be like, hey, you helped me realize my privilege and how I was raised and how fucked up my belief and my thinking is. So like I said, it's a catch-22 for people who live their lives on the internet like I do. And it's something that I just have to get used to, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. But unless like I said, unless you have my personal phone number, you don't really know shit. You really don't. You just know what you read on the internet. So
or what you seen in the video. You know what I mean? It's like somebody was like, "Oh, well, we don't really know if she actually called him the N word because this is when the video started." And I remember literally DMing you. I was like, "It's not like you left the house that day saying that this was going to happen. You just happened to have it happen, and then you grabbed your
there's
phone."
there's this new thing called race baiting, like this new thing that the
Really?
extreme right have created. I guess I'm the poster boy of it in their eyes. I've seen people write whole freaking like college grade articles about me and how I quote unquote race bait. The idea of race baiting is you are a person of color and you look for people who have done or do racist things to catch them on camera to expose
Wow.
them. So I was like, so is that baiting or is that just race capturing?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, so am I wrong for catching you do wrong?
That's the question here. So like with the whole Karen thing, a lot of people America's obsessed with trauma porn. Like they don't. It's not okay. Just for me, that 15-minute video of her screaming and all of that happening, that was a whole lot. But no, they wanted more. They wanted more. Besides another witness, there was a whole witness came up and like, yeah, I saw her call you the N-word. I saw her roll up on you. I saw it all. But like, no, that wasn't enough for them. Basically, they wanted me to have like a GoPro on my chest, being like, as soon as I leave my door, like, ooh, who's gonna call me a nigger today? Like,
But let's be honest. I don't know if you would agree with this, but I feel like if you did have, say, a GoPro on your car and you had recorded it from start to finish, then people would be like, "Was this staged?"
that was another thing. There was a whole guy on YouTube, Joey Tune something, was like, so this is another skit set up by Karlos Dillard to gain clout. And I was like, a skit? But at a certain extent, I do skits. So it's kind of like, how do you fight something that you know is the truth? I didn't even fight it. I was like, if you guys want to believe that I paid, there was about 15 people out there. First of all, I don't know if y'all know my budget, but I don't got a budget like that. I do not have a budget. And second of all, just that would be a stupid ass skit, because I really could have been shot if a police officer or someone with a gun would have heard that. Like that was outrageous of what
Or
she
even
did.
if the wrong bystander had come by while she was freaking out, like that's a dangerous situation for a black man, like especially during that time with Chop still being there.
That's why you understand it, because you understand where I was and what time of year it was. There were no police. We were in like
Dangerous.
it was dangerous. Like it was literally there were cowboys rolling around the streets, and people don't understand. I was like, I don't care if you believe that she called me a nigger or not. I don't care if you believe if she followed me or not. Her behavior right in that moment that I captured was everything that we've been saying since Emmett Till. This needs to stop. And then her words, oh, he's attacking me. Please help. I'm in danger. Who's attacking you, sis?
I'm sorry. I literally started giggling when I thought about the meltdown when she saw you recording her license plate. And she was like, "No, what is this?"
People and so I can have a heart, because I do let people, like, I want people to know. Even when you saw my response, I reached out to the stratosphere to her, and I was like, if you want to have a conversation, that's all I was trying to do, was to like, ma'am, you can't be around here chasing black men, calling us niggers, and almost getting into an wreck with us because you feel like you're angry. You can't do that. Because if I was one of my brothers, if if I was one of my brothers, there would have been no video. That would have been just a dead body on the street with some bullet holes. I'm like, that's how my brothers do it in Detroit. That's how they do everything with violence. So if you really wanted me to be this black man that you're so afraid of, why are you so afraid of the camera?
Yeah. It's like, okay, now you have evidence of what's happening. If she was in the right, you would think the camera would be wanted, but I mean, in her case, she knew that she had did something wrong, and she knew that she was literally going to go viral. I actually think she said, "I'm going to go viral" or something crazy like that.
She did. Which leads me to believe that people out here know who the hell I am, and then she's like, he's trying to make me a Karen. I'm gonna go viral. I was like, sis, you probably are. You probably are. At this moment, you probably are. And then at the end of it, she's gonna apologize for the whole thing. And I was like, ma'am, you can't, like, ma'am, no. No, I love you. Please, peace and blessings, but leave me alone. No white tears for me.
On that note, let's talk about your book real quick. You have a book called Ward of the State, a memoir of foster care. First of all, give me 3 things that you want for people to get from this book when they finish reading it.
First things first, allow black men to express their feelings. That's just number one. Attached to that, black men get raped. Black men are sexually assaulted. It has nothing to do with their sexuality. But I think as a community, we need to allow space and give space for black men to be open and honest about their experience, especially when it comes to emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. So this book, it hits hard on that a lot. Second thing that I want people to draw from this book is that not every foster child experience is the same. I love supporting other people who have books. other foster youth who have books, who have aged out, who survived the system. There are over 470,000 kids in the foster system currently in the U.S. system.
Wow.
And every one of those stories are completely different. So when you read mine, this is my story. And it's probably similar to a lot of the other kids' stories, but I just want to hit that home that like there are over 500,000 books that need to be written and people need to read. And then lastly, um, I always like my tagline when I write people notes in the book, it's always shine your light. And a lot of people were like, well, Karlos, you always focus on negative things. And I was like, nah, I don't really focus on negative things, but I shine light on negative things. With comedy, with being just like, I will make fun, like my podcast, like me and my husband shine light on caucasity and niggatry and the gay mafia, the LGBTQ mafia, things that like are affecting us all as humans. And we have to acknowledge them, but you can shine light on it without being putting something down or putting someone else down. This book really just hits home to like we all got stories. Every single one of us have a story, and you never judge a book by its cover. Literally, never judge a book by its cover because everyone online thinks that some of the comments based I read is like, oh, this stuck up Black kid, he's spoiled, he's never seen a harsh day in his life. And I was like, do you know I was in 37 foster homes? I was raped, beaten, sodomized, locked in basements. At 15, I was homeless. I was eating Subway sandwiches, picking maggots out of them. Like I've been at the very bottom. So that's why I am not afraid to speak at all to anybody. But yeah, this book covers a whole lot, but a majority of it is those three that I just gave you: the Black men, emotional, physical, mental, sexual abuse. Just acknowledge Black men, acknowledge foster stories, and then shine light. Don't be afraid to share your story. If you're a foster youth or not even a foster youth, if you're a survivor of any type of abuse, share your story. Share it. I know you might not think, oh, I don't have a platform. I don't have a million people watching me. It's okay. If one person hears your story and they're encouraged so they can then share their story, it's like a butterfly effect where like a ripple effect where you will just literally your light will just shine so far. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about the book. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. But if you really want to support a real nigga real close, just get it on karlosdillard.com because I don't have to pay.
Right.
They be taking like 25-30%.
Yeah, they do. They always take their cut. They're like, so I know that you did all the work, but I'm gonna need my 10%.
Right?
This is my website.
You can get a personalized, and I write something like really sweet every time. You get a personalized copy on my website, karlosdillard.com. Definitely check it out.
I also want to do so. This is gonna be like a quick little 5 randoms with Besa. I typically do 9, but I think for this show I'm gonna bring them down to about 5 and just kind of make a little more broad questions. So the
Okay.
first one, you kind of already gave these earlier, but what is one tip that you have for someone that wants to get on TikTok?
I think overall one tip, just be like I know everyone says that, be yourself, but like honestly, don't get no fucks. Like just put it out. It's okay to repeat other people's content. I know a lot of people's like, I need new content that no one's made. No, sis, you can literally just go find a TikTok that's been doing well, recreate it. That's what TikTok is. It's recreating other people's content
and making it your own.
That's literally what the whole app is about. So you don't like now. You do have friends who've made like that. My friend Malika did. She did that. I did it. Don't do it, sis. And her sound went viral. So you can have things that go viral, but it's okay to just start off and recreate. That's what I did. Start off recreating other people's content. Find your niche. I say that in almost everything. Find your niche. Like why do I want to come to your page? Why do I want to come watch your story every day? So definitely find your niche and then just keep doing it.
Okay. 3 misconceptions of Karlos.
The top misconception is that I'm rich. Everybody thinks that.
You're like, look, I'm not broke, but look, let's not look at the twist out here.
No, like I see this comment all the time. People be asking, like sending me CashApp requests, like, can you help me with college? I'm like, can you help me with college? Like
Like, can I send you my Cash App? Hold on.
Yeah, so that's the number one. I have to say my husband works for the city, and if you live in Seattle, you know, like if you work for the city or in tech, you make a pretty good living. So I am blessed and highly favored. I got insurance. I don't. He gives me the ability to live my dreams and do this, so I don't have to worry about clocking into a 9 to 5. But honestly, I be working harder than I tell people I worked corporate before. I work so much harder for myself than I ever did for a corporate organization because you're always just like, I gotta do this, I gotta do
Yeah.
that, I gotta do it, and this never stops. But when you work for corporate, you're like, oh, at 5 o'clock on Friday, I ain't doing
I'm
nothing.
Gucci, or like I'm gonna just work ahead and then be good for a little bit.
Right? But no, when you work for yourself, you're constantly going. Number one, I'm not rich. We work very hard. Number two, let's see. I think that you hit it that a lot of people think that I share too much
Mm,
on the internet, and and I'm like I said, like that's kind of like my life. That's kind of like being like Kim Kardashian. She has too much makeup, or Kylie Kardashian wears. That's her fucking life. That's their career. So the reason why y'all love me is because you know my dogs and you know my husband, and you just know like everything about me. And I keep you up to date with a lot of things that people just don't know because they're just not down on the ground or just not in the action. So yeah, one second misconception is that I share too much. And the third misconception is that I'm not nice. That's something that a lot of people, I don't know why. I don't know why, but they just think that okay. A lot of people think that like I snap real fast, which I don't.
mm.
I'm just quick to correct you. So,
There's a difference.
and there's a difference. Like I'll be talking like, hey sis, that was wrong, but continue. Like, but like that was wrong. This is why, but continue. A lot of people, especially on the internet, they misconstrue my directness as conceited, stuck up, not nice, catty. When it's not. I'm actually. You've met me in real life. I sit there and
You're chill.
I sit there in a corner by myself.
All the way in the back. I was like, who's that?
I really
All
do.
the way in
Like
the back,
in
in the
real life.
dark.
And a lot of people think in real life, like, and that's one thing people have to understand. When I'm performing, when I'm talking to, like, I'm so used to just talking to this little device, and it's such a comfort zone. And it's almost like I'm antisocial because when it comes to like real social, that's why I like going to your mixers because like you gotta like, yeah, it's one thing to be an influencer online and have everyone talk to you and comment back and forth and be, but when you actually have to like be there in person,
Especially because I'll be like, hey, you should meet this person. You should meet this person. It's like, damn, I was just trying to lay low.
I
Yeah.
was yeah, I was just trying to lay low in the
Don't do
back and
that
sip
around here. Not in
on my
my
whiskey
store.
and rock. But yeah, that's the third thing is that I'm just a mean person, but I'm not. I'm really I'm a shy little kid that was in foster care that honestly just have just been like I just said fuck it to the world and just I just do what I want and
I
I
mean,
say what's on my heart. That's
period.
it.
And if it happens to be blasting somebody, then nobody told you to do wrong. You wouldn't have been
Nobody
blasted. Period.
listen, if you don't
You
want to be blasted, stay out of my way. Stay out of my way. That's
did.
what
Period.
point blank.
Um, if you could make one wish before the year is over, what would it be?
If I can make one wish, I wish that as a Black community, we all got real restitution. Um, I think if we each got our equivalent of 40 acres and a mule, which I think a lot of people say would be like $5.3 million at this point each. I think that that itself will take care of a whole lot of race issues. Because if you get, I mean, you get,
I mean, if you,
I ain't got nothing to say. Who's caring? Who? I would be
child, I am up on the top floor of this building, minding my business. Karen, who?
but you know what? And that's why I say like a lot of white people, even if they're not super rich, that's why like they really don't care is because they have that level of comfortability where if things go wrong, mom and dad has their house, or mom and dad will die, and I'll get an inheritance. A lot of us, especially Gen Zs and Gen Xs, like my parents were both crackheads due to the war on drugs, and then we are put in foster care. There is no home to go to. There is no inheritance. There is no let me just wait. Oh, Corona happened. Let me move home. There is none of that. So I think as a country, if we gave African Americans that equity that we were so unfairly shut out of over 200 years, I think that it would really resolve a lot. So that's my wish is that we just get our equity. That would be my one wish.
Yeah, I'm gonna wish that with you and maybe even add it to my vision board. Um, Drink of choice during this election right now.
Drink of choice is by classic whiskey with olive.
Okay. And then lastly, one tip for people to live their best life.
Uh, Honestly, one tip to live your best life is treat everybody like it's your last day on earth.
Mm,
Because I found that if you go through life just exuding light and just exude, and I'm the type of person that if I'm in a bad mood and I go in a room, the whole room in a bad mood right now. Because I will literally just be like, oh, y'all all in a bad mood. And I'm a cancer and I'm breaking down the whole mood. Uh, but I think if one thing if you can do is just constantly shine light and embrace everybody. And a lot of people are like, how can you say that when you constantly cussing people out? I'm shining light, sweetheart, and I'm embracing you with your ignorance. And every time y'all seen me, no, 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 for real.
I'm writing that down. I am embracing you with your ignorance.
It is. I'm embracing you with your ignorance. And I'm trying to make I'm trying to make the world a better place, regardless of anything. So that's why I always like, Karen, are you okay? Like, are you? I really, in my heart, was asking her if she was okay because I was like, are you like you're human at the end of the day? Are you
Yeah.
okay? So yeah, that's the last thing. Is just like just be good to other humans, and I feel like it'll. I know it'll not feel. I know it'll come back to you. It's come back to me tenfold when I'm nasty to people. When I'm negative, when I'm just like, oh, fuck the world will fuck you if you say fuck the world. It'll be like, all right, sis, okay, all right,
Here you
Tia,
go.
you don't care about me, I don't care about you. But when you actually care about humanity, care about the environment, care about animals, you really like you live a good life. Like
Hmm.
it comes back to you, and like money will come, people will come into your life, opportunities will come. And I know I sound like a motivational speaker, but it's like real. It's real. It's really real. I personally, I believe in the vortex. You know about the vortex and positive and negative thinking.
Hmm. I've
And
never called it like the vortex, but yeah.
a lot of Abram Hinks or Hicks, Abram Hicks talks about it a lot, where there's a negative and a positive energy. That we all know there's negative, positive energy in the world, and you can literally harness this energy, but you have to be in a vortex. So if you get thrown out of the vortex, then your energy is just all out of miscombobulated everywhere. But once you're in a vortex, that means that you're in tune with yourself, you're in tune with your wants and with your being. And if you're in tune with yourself, that makes you so much more capable to help other people. And I think that's why I've been successful is because I go to therapy, I meditate, I self-reflect. I'm the main bitch asking myself, like, nigga, was that really necessary? Was
Like,
it
did you
necessary?
have to do
Like,
that?
and then I'm like, analyze it because I went to college too. I'm like, my political mind's like, well, yeah, you did, but then my emotional mind's like, and then my like open third eye's like, well, nigga, you really could have just. But then I'm like, then I come to a conclusion of you did the right thing. Like sometimes, but then sometimes it was you did the wrong thing, and
Sometimes
I
it's like,
come
nah,
out.
you did a little too much.
No, and I come out. You've seen me on my social media where I come out and be like, so I was wrong about that.
Hmm.
100% wrong. I take it back because self-reflection helps
That
you.
honesty.
Self-honesty, that's what we all are missing. A lot of people got, and I feel like that's what people like look at. They're like, why do you blame everybody for something? Like, because once you actually are like 100% self-centered and be like, I know who I am, I know how I treat people, you really do start seeing people differently. Like, oh, that's a bad person. Oh, that person's only out for themselves. Oh, that person's this. You can really start to see people because there's no projection anymore. It's just
Hmm.
straight facts, it's straight information. I'm not projecting like, oh, I don't like her because she has more Instagram influencers. And no, it's I don't think I like her energy because of this, or maybe I do like her
Yeah.
energy, and I was just projecting my own self consciousness onto her because
Yep.
she was doing better than me. So maybe I liked her all
Maybe
along.
it was me.
Maybe it was me.
Maybe I think I love that you say that because sometimes I think being honest with yourself is the best person that you could ever be honest with because it's like if you have like a jealous trait or like a self-doubt trait and you're not even being honest with that, like you're going to be a real stuck. And then also it makes it to where you're jealous of other people just because you don't really understand yourself. You're not being honest with yourself and then
Yep.
you keep repeating that. So thank you.
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious. So self heal 2021. Let's all just get like, come on, let's go to self-therapy. Let's meditate. Let's do some self-care. Self-care does not include buying Gucci bags or Birkin bags. That is, I mean, that could be a piece of it, but that's also self-harm. Okay, let's do some real self-care. Okay, learn a skill or two.
I feel you. I feel you. Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining the Rewind with Besa. Please let everyone know where they can follow you and keep up with you on social media.
So all of my well, first of all, thank you so much, Besa. Like, oh, I love you. I love you so much. Like, you are a voice in Seattle that is just like you. Literally, you're one of the you're one of the first voices I heard when I moved here because you was on
Oh,
the radio, and I was like,
I remember.
just like you knew me on Instagram. I knew you from the radio before I knew you in
That's
real person. I was like,
crazy.
oh, she sounds so cool. Like, I love that she's like a DJ on the radio. Like, and I researched people, so like I was like, she lived here. Like, it was her dream to like be on the radio. And
Yeah.
like you were just so inspiring to me. So
Thank
I
you.
want to say thank you for that because a lot like you're just so inspiring to me and everything that you do. And I love how you're now getting into being like a mediator and like really like a person, a big voice in the political sphere in Seattle. I love the talk that you did at the city hall, and you're just doing big things. So just know that
I'm
we out here,
growing.
we're supporting you. No, you're not growing.
Thank you.
You're shining. You are shining, shining. Because growing means that you already grown. You just need to shine. You just shining bright. But you guys can follow me anywhere on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Did I say Instagram? Yeah, I already said that. It's just Karlos Dillard. I did a really good job at branding myself. So Karlos
Same.
Dillard's with a K. You really did. I was
Every
like,
single thing is one name.
and you know what? That's the key. You can't be orange pickled 358 on Instagram and then be
It's just,
Lakeisha White on Facebook. And then you can't.
it's like, what? No. Everything is at Besa. Don't ask me nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah, everything is at Karlos Dillard. That's Karlos with a K. Definitely check out the book. I have a podcast that's available on all streaming platforms with my husband. It's super ratchet, super fun. Check it out. And again, thank you, Besa, for this time and this opportunity to spread my voice and shine my light. I appreciate it.
Yes, I wanted to definitely get you on here so that way we can get rid of some of them weird misconceptions. I'm like, he's so sweet. I don't like that people ask me weird questions about him. Like, don't come to my
It's it's
period.
really it's just really weird. But you know what? They don't come to me because they'll just get drugged. You just get drugged with honesty. Like, I don't mind being open and honest, but thank you for always having my back and send them to me. Send them to me. Just be like at Karlos
I will.
Dillard.
Like, just ask him yourself. All right, you guys. Well, until the next rewind, I hope you have an amazing week. You already know what I always say. Make sure that you are your own vibe. And I want to thank you for joining me and for you all watching.
Bye.